Troy, the ancient city on the Anatolian coast of present-day Turkey, represents one of the most famous and intriguing archaeological sites in history. Its renowned story, steeped in epic legends, myths, and history, is brimming with intrigues, wars, and cultural aspects that shaped the ancient world. Troy, despite being the epicenter of legendary tales, has evolved into a pivotal archaeological site providing insight into the life of an ancient civilization. Its history, marked by wars, cultural diversity, and the complexity of urban life, has enriched our understanding of the ancient world and influenced mythological and literary heritage. Though a subject of myths, the actual location of Troy was long debated. However, archaeological excavations in the 19th and 20th centuries, notably those led by Heinrich Schliemann, revealed that there was indeed a real site that corresponded with the descriptions in ancient texts. Troy consisted of multiple layers of settlements, signifying successive rebuilds and modifications of the city over time. Archaeological remains from different layers reveal changes in architecture, urban planning, and the way of life within the city. Researchers have unearthed artifacts spanning various periods, from the Stone Age to later ancient eras, providing us with a broad spectrum of insights into the life and development of Troy over millennia. This archaeological treasure trove includes weapons, pottery, tools, sculptures, and architectural remnants, each with its own story and significance in the context of the ancient city. One of the most striking discoveries includes the stratigraphic layers identified as possible remains of Troy, confirming the existence of multiple distinct settlements at the same location throughout history. These layers offer insight into the continuous evolution of the city, from its initial traces of settlement to a period when it became a pivotal point for trade and cultural exchange among different civilizations. Furthermore, archaeological research has confirmed that various buildings and defense systems of Troy underwent multiple changes over time. Different layers of walls and structures reveal continuous efforts for adaptation, construction, and reinforcement, while the discovered ruins serve as testament to various conflicts and battles that have marked the history of this city. In Troy, the buildings were like puzzles, changing shapes over time. At first, they were simple huts made from mud and bricks. But later, they got smarter. People learned to make bigger and stronger buildings, using stones and bricks to create walls. These walls protected the city from attacks and made it a safer place. Troy wasn't just one culture, it was like a big mixing pot. People from different places came and brought their own ideas, food, clothes, and even ways to build things. This mix made Troy a lively place. They had special rituals, beliefs, and different ways of making things like pottery and art. It was like a party where everyone brought something unique. Living in Troy was a mix of city and countryside life. People were farmers, growing crops and taking care of animals. They had cozy homes made from mud and stones, some with cool decorations. They also had marketplaces where they traded things they made or grew. They even had a big wall around the city to keep everyone safe. The people of Troy had a lot in common but also had their own stories. They'd meet in special places to talk, share food, and make decisions about the city. They had different traditions and things they liked to do for fun, like playing games or having festivals. Troy was a buzzing place with many things happening every day. Troy's buildings, mix of cultures, and how people lived are still fascinating today. They help us understand how life was a long time ago and show us how creative and clever ancient people were. Troy was inhabited by the Trojans, according to ancient myths. According to Homer's epics like the Iliad, the Trojans were the main tribe that lived in the city. These myths describe Troy as a large and wealthy city in ancient Anatolia, where the Trojans built their lives, engaging in trade, agriculture, and other activities within their walls. If you haven't already, don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more historical topics. The legend of Troy is a story from ancient times that captivates people to this day. It's a tale filled with heroes, gods, and a city that stood as a testament to the power of human determination. According to Greek mythology, Troy was an ancient city located in what is now modern-day Turkey. Its legend was immortalized in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. At the heart of this legend was the infamous Trojan War. This war was ignited by a conflict between nations over a stolen queen, Helen of Sparta, famously known as Helen of Troy. The story begins with a prince from Troy named Paris, who fell in love with Helen, the wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. Paris took Helen and brought her to Troy, sparking outrage and leading Menelaus, along with his brother Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, to gather a mighty army to retrieve her. This became the catalyst for one of the most famous wars in mythology. The Greeks assembled a fleet of 1,000 ships and set sail for Troy, commencing a decade-long siege on the city's mighty walls. The Trojans, led by their noble prince Hector, defended their city fiercely against the Greeks, led by the cunning Odysseus and the mighty Achilles. The epic poem immortalizes the heroism, the tragedy, and the clash of civilizations. After 10 years of battling, the Greeks devised a cunning plan. They constructed a large wooden horse, the infamous Trojan horse, left it outside the city walls, and pretended to sail away. The Trojans, believing they had won, brought the horse inside their impenetrable walls as a victorious trophy. Little did they know that Greek warriors were hidden inside the horse, waiting for nightfall. In the dead of night, the Greeks emerged, opened the gates, and let their comrades in. Troy fell in flames, and the war ended, marking the culmination of one of the most famous sieges in history. While long debated, archaeological evidence suggests that Troy was a real city. Excavations at the site of Hazarlik in Turkey revealed layers of ancient settlements, each representing different eras. The findings support the idea that Troy was a multi-layered city, evolving and adapting over the centuries. The legend of Troy endures as a testament to the power of storytelling and the human spirit. It has inspired countless works of art, literature, and movies, leaving an indelible mark on global culture. Even today, it continues to ignite imaginations and fascinate those intrigued by the intertwining of myth and history. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Troy. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting journeys through history.